On Christmas Eve, my mother screamed from the kitchen. "Where is the turkey? Where is the food? Where is Lily?" 25 guests were sitting in the living room. The table was beautifully decorated. The house smelled like candles and pine, but the stove was cold. The oven was empty. And I was 1,800 miles away, sitting on a hotel balcony in Miami, eating steak, alone. And for the first time in 15 years, I was finally at peace. My name is Lily Septon. I'm 37 years old. I run a $4 million company. And for 15 years, my own family had no idea. Because in our house, love wasn't given. It was assigned. If this story sounds familiar, if you've ever been the one who does everything, while someone else gets the credit, stay with me. Because this Christmas, everything changed. Please subscribe if this story reaches you. And drop a comment. Where are you watching from? Let me take you back to Christmas 2009. I was 22, fresh out of college, living in my childhood bedroom in Denver. The economy had collapsed. I was sending resumes into the void. My mother walked into the living room and made an announcement. Not a request. An announcement. "Lily, you're handling dinner." 15 guests were coming. A full Christmas spread. Turkey, mashed potatoes, casseroles, pies, everything. I looked at my sister Sarah. She was 18, lounging on the couch, scrolling her phone. "Sarah has finals," Mom said. Sarah wasn't studying. But that was never the point. The point was, Sarah was the future. I was the infrastructure. I spent 2 days in that kitchen. Roasted a 12-pound turkey. Made everything from scratch. Set the table. Polished the silverware. Arranged the centerpiece. When guests arrived, I was still in the kitchen. Apron stained. Hair a mess. My father stood in the living room with a glass of scotch, introducing Sarah to his business partner Harold. "This is my youngest. She's studying marketing. Going to take over the company someday." I walked past them carrying a platter of appetizers. Dad glanced at me. Turned back to Harold. Not a word. Then a guest named Grace picked up one of my stuffed mushrooms. "These are incredible. Who made these?" Mom waved her hand dismissively. "That's just Lily. She has time for cooking. No job yet." That was the moment I understood my place in this family. Sarah was the future. I was the girl with nothing better to do. That pattern repeated every single holiday for the next 12 years. Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, parents' anniversary, birthdays. I was always in the kitchen. Sarah was always at the table. But here is what my family didn't know. In 2012, I started my own company. I called it Stellar Events. Corporate events, product launches, galas, conferences. By 2014, first major client, $8,000 contract. By 2018, 5 employees, downtown Denver office. By 2022, Fortune 500 clients. By 2024, 23 employees, $4.2 million in revenue. And in October 2024, Forbes magazine featured me in their 30 under 40 event entrepreneurs list. Lily Septon, the quiet force reshaping corporate gatherings. My family had no idea any of this existed, because every time I visited, I wore plain clothes, drove my old Honda, said nothing about work. Why? Because they never asked. And the one time I tried to mention it, Mom barely looked up from her magazine. Event planning? Like birthday parties for children. Corporate events, actually. Product launches. That's nice, dear. Can you pick up the dry cleaning on your way home? So I stopped talking. I built in silence. I succeeded in silence. And every Christmas, I came back, put on the apron, cooked for 25 people, while my sister sat at the table, being celebrated. Last Thanksgiving, I had just closed a $600,000 hotel chain deal. I walked into my parents' house. Mom handed me an apron. Turkey needs basting every 30 minutes. I made a schedule. 23 employees reported to me. I negotiated contracts with CEOs. I had been profiled in Forbes. And my mother handed me a basting schedule. I took the apron. I basted the turkey. I said nothing. But something inside me had made a decision. This was the last time. 2 weeks later, December 22nd. I was in my corner office. Floor-to-ceiling windows, Denver skyline. When my CFO Marcus walked in. You need to see this. An email from Victoria Caldwell, CEO of Meridian Holdings, a hospitality and real estate conglomerate, worth $3.8 billion. Subject: Partnership Proposal. Exclusive Event Services 2025. Meridian Holdings wanted to sign an exclusive contract with Stellar Events. Every corporate function, client dinner, product launch, and investor gala for the entire year. Contract value, $2.1 million. I read it 3 times. Is this real? I called their legal team, Marcus said. It's real. But there was a catch. Victoria Caldwell wanted to meet in person. The meeting, December 24th, 11 a.m. Miami. Christmas Eve. Can we reschedule? She's leaving for Switzerland on the 26th. If we don't sign by Christmas Eve, they go to our biggest competitor. This wasn't just a contract. This was the moment that would define everything. And then, my phone buzzed. Mom. I should have ignored it. But 15 years of conditioning doesn't disappear overnight. I picked up. Christmas plans have changed, she said. Sarah's friends are joining us. 25 people total. I need you here early tomorrow. Cooking, decorating, everything. Mom, I have a business trip. I'm flying to Miami tomorrow night. Silence. Then she laughed. Actually laughed. Miami for what? Some little party you're organizing. It's the biggest contract of my career. Lily, please. Your freelance work can wait. This is family. Something cracked inside me. Not broke. Cracked. A fissure that had been forming for 15 years. Finally split open. My answer is no, Mom. I won't be there tomorrow. I won't be cooking dinner for 25 people. I have a meeting that cannot be rescheduled. Her voice turned ice cold. If you walk out on this family, don't bother coming back. I should have felt devastated. Instead, I felt relief. Goodbye, Mom. I hung up. Sarah texted immediately. Mom's crying. Thanks a lot. You really couldn't put family first for one day? So selfish. I deleted the thread. Book my flight, I told Marcus. I'm going to Miami. December 24th, 11 a.m. Meridian Holdings headquarters. A glass tower in Miami, reflecting the December sun like a beacon. Victoria Caldwell. Early 50s, silver hair, sharp eyes. The kind of woman who built an empire from nothing. The contract signing took 45 minutes. She reviewed every clause. Asked pointed questions. I answered each one. With 12 years of preparation behind me. At 11:52 a.m., we both signed. Welcome to the Meridian family. Then, as she gathered her things, she mentioned something casual. I'm spending Christmas Eve with some associates in Denver. The Septons. Do you know them? Richard runs a construction company. His daughter Sarah is quite impressive. My throat tightened. I've heard of them. I'm told the food is spectacular. The food. The food I was supposed to have cooked. Victoria had no idea that the family she was about to visit was mine. 5:30 p.m. Denver. My mother walked into her kitchen, expecting everything she always got. Instead, cold appliances, empty counters. No Lily. Richard. Where is the food? The next hour was chaos. Every catering company in Denver, booked or closed. Grocery store. Prepared food section completely empty. 3 restaurants. All declined. By 6 p.m., the Septon Christmas table held this. 2 store-bought rotisserie chickens. 3 bags of pre-mixed salad. A cheese platter from Costco. Dinner rolls still in plastic packaging. 25 guests. A beautifully decorated house. And a disaster barely hidden by Christmas lights. At 7:15 p.m., Victoria Caldwell arrived. She swept in confidently, shook hands with Richard, complimented the decorations, glanced toward the dining room, and saw the rotisserie chickens. Her expression stayed politely neutral. I've heard wonderful things about your Christmas dinners. My mother's smile tightened. We had some unexpected challenges this year. Then Grace Thompson, a family friend of 15 years, looked at her phone and stopped. Oh my God. Richard, Margaret. Come look at this. She held up her screen. A LinkedIn post. Published just hours earlier. Victoria Caldwell shaking hands with someone. Caption. Thrilled to announce our partnership with Stellar Events. And the brilliant Lily Septon. Looking forward to an incredible 2025. Grace looked up slowly. Wait, Lily Septon? Isn't that your daughter? The room went quiet. My mother stared at the screen. Her face drained of color. Victoria stepped forward. Looked at the post. Recognition. Then, delighted amusement. Lily Septon. Your daughter is Lily Septon, the founder of Stellar Events. Yes, Lily is our daughter, but what is Stellar Events? Victoria laughed. A warm, genuine sound that cut through the silence. Margaret. Stellar Events is one of the most successful event planning companies in the region. I signed a $2.1 million contract with them. This morning, $2.1 million. The number hung in the air. Like a grenade. Richard went pale. That's more than our company's annual profit. Your daughter has built something remarkable. Victoria continued. I read her Forbes profile in October. Absolutely inspiring. Forbes, Sarah whispered. Lily was in Forbes. Grace was already searching. She turned her screen. Me. In my corner office. Arms crossed. Confident. Successful. Everything my family had convinced themselves. I wasn't. More guests crowded around. Passing phones. Reading aloud. 23 employees. $4 million revenue. I believe in showing up, not showing off. My mother stood frozen. In the center of her crumbling Christmas. Why didn't she tell us? She whispered. Victoria looked at her. Quietly. Calmly. Finally. Perhaps. You didn't ask. The silence that followed was the loudest thing in that room. Victoria set down her untouched wine glass. Give Lily my regards. And do thank her. If she hadn't stepped away from this dinner, we might never have met today. The front door clicked shut, and the room erupted. Meanwhile, in my Miami hotel room, I was watching the moon paint silver stripes across the Atlantic. Room service steak. A glass of red wine. The signed contract beside me. My phone had 15 missed calls. 32 text messages. 6 voicemails. I read every single one. Mom, 8:15 p.m. How could you humiliate us in front of everyone? Sarah, 8:30 p.m. You let us look like idiots in front of 25 people. Dad, 9:45 p.m. This isn't how family should operate. Not one congratulations. Not one acknowledgement. Not one apology. I opened my laptop and wrote one email. For 15 years, I cooked and cleaned. For every family gathering. While my career was dismissed as a hobby, I am not selfish for having standards. I am not a failure. Because my success doesn't fit your definition. I will not apologize for choosing myself. I am open to rebuilding. But only on these terms. I will no longer be the family caterer. I will be respected as an equal. My career will be acknowledged, not dismissed. If these conditions are unacceptable, I understand. But I will not return to the way things were. Lily. I hit send. Closed the laptop. Picked up my wine. And watched the fireworks over Miami Beach. 3 days later, a handwritten letter arrived. My father's handwriting. Dear Lily, I've spent 4 days trying to understand how I missed what was right in front of me. You built a company. A real company. And I didn't know. Because I never asked. I was wrong. Deeply. Terribly. Wrong. I don't expect forgiveness. I haven't earned it. But I want you to know. I see you now. Your father, Richard. I read it 3 times. Set it on my kitchen counter. Made coffee. A letter doesn't erase 15 years. Words don't undo actions. But it was a start. New Year's Eve. Midnight. Fireworks over Denver. I called my father. He answered on the first ring. Lily. Hi, Dad. I'm willing to try. But not the way things were. No more being the family caterer. No more dismissing my work. I come as a guest. An equal. Not a staff. That's fair, he said quietly. More than fair. Then I'll see you Sunday. But someone else is cooking. After I hung up, I stood at my window, watching 2025 begin. And I thought about something. People say, The best revenge is massive success. But I don't think of it as revenge anymore. Revenge means you're still focused on the people who hurt you, still measuring your worth by their standards. What I did wasn't revenge. It was self-respect. I didn't scream. I didn't fight. I didn't demand they see me. I just walked away, chose myself, and let success speak. Louder than any argument ever could. They lost a Christmas dinner. I got my life back. If you've ever been overlooked, dismissed, taken for granted by the people who should love you most, I want you to hear this. Your success does not require their approval. Your worth does not require their acknowledgement. The moment you decide you deserve better is the moment everything shifts. Thank you for watching. If this story reached you, please subscribe. Drop a comment. Have you ever had to choose yourself over family expectations? I read every single one. Until next time.